Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is Wattpad poachers. So if you're a writer on Wattpad and you have at least one book posted, doesn't even matter how many reads you have or how many followers you have, then you probably received a message or multiple messages from one of these companies. There are probably more, but those are the only ones that I have personally been contacted by, so that's who we're going to talk about. Moving on, if you're an established writer, or maybe you're a brand new writer on Wattpad who's just starting out, and you happen to get a DM from one of these companies hyping you up, saying how much they love your book and how they want to give you money to publish on their site if you move your content off of Wattpad and post it on their site, or blah blah whatever they say, then I can see how you'd be excited and ready to sign a contract and ready to sign a contract and just throw all your inhibitions away if it means you're finally able to become a traditionally published author and make tons of money off your book and just live the dream that you never thought you'd be able to live as a writer. Well, I'm here to tell you, point blank period, none of that is going to happen with any of the companies that I just mentioned, and I'm going to explain why. Also, I apologize for bursting your bubble of excitement. Now, before we get into exposing some shit, I want to throw it out there now that I'm not going to be showing any contracts from any of these shady ass companies that I've mentioned, because I heard through the grapevine that a certain company had come after a YouTuber who critiqued quite objectively one of their contracts, and they almost cost dude his channel. If you want to listen to his side of the story, I'll link the video in the description box below. So this is also primarily the reason for why I'm posting this video here on my gaming channel versus my main channel, where I talk all about writing fiction online, specifically on Wattpad. If you don't know, you should go check me out and also listen to my podcast, which is in the description box below as well. Thank you. Getting back on track, let's take a look first and foremost. Let's take a look at some of these poorly written messages from these quote-unquote super amazing companies that are just ready to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at you if only you sign over the rights to your book for 5 years. And if you forget to back out of your contract once your 5 years is up, the contract will auto-renew and you'll be stuck with them for another 5 years. None of that sounds like fun if you're only making pennies. But anyway, let's take a look at some of these messages. Hey guys, so I had to come back and edit this part in after making the video because I forgot to include it while doing my first rounds of edit. So I wanted to come back and cover it. So it's basically a red flags list that was created by Wattpad star and writer Lena Presents. She posted this on Twitter and I thought it was super informative and also would be extremely helpful to newbie writers that have been contacted by one of these publishers on Wattpad and they didn't know how to proceed. So I'll post a link to this in the description box if you guys want to bookmark it and share it with your friends or whatever you want to do. So we're going to cover the list here. So she says, a very good statement here. The word scam doesn't just mean fake, it also means unfair. So let's take a look at this marvelous list that she created here. So the first few say, they do not address you by name, they do not state their company name, they do not state their name, they do not state their position in the company, their email address differs from their name, they may sign off as Tiffany but the email is Bob at whoever. The website in their email address differs from the name of their platform or company. They ask for your email instead of providing you theirs and asking you to reach out if interested. They message or email you with an offer more than once. They do not mention your book by title. None of the books on their platform are like yours. They say they're just starting. An established and successful comic site branching into novels is fine. For example, but an app that just got posted to the store 2 months ago, not so much. They've been on the scene for a while, but there is no information about them from current or former authors or news outlets. And then there's some more here. Their platform uses a generic template, so this is something that you'll see quite a bit on Wattpad. The companies will message you using the same template, and you'll see what I mean in some examples that I'm going to show later. Their platform UI looks nearly identical to another platform's. There is no About section on their webpage. You cannot find the company name, only the website or the app name. You have no completed stories on your profile, and yet they're messaging you about wanting to publish your stories. Their message contains several grammatical errors. They refuse to let you see a sample contract. When you reach out to authors that they work with, the authors refuse to give you information, or they give you some generic statement like, it's great. They have contacted you through DM when there is a business email or website with a contact form on your profile. So that just goes to show that they don't pay attention. They really do not pay attention, and all they're after is trying to get you locked into these contracts so that they can absorb your works and build up their catalog, and that's basically it. So we're going to look at some examples here of some of these shady messages that you might get on Wattpad, and a lot of what Lena mentioned is going to be, you're going to see that in some of these messages. So again, very great list that she created, and if you want to bookmark it, the link is going to be posted in the description box below. Now this first one comes from a representative named Bryce, and many of you guys have probably gotten a message from this guy. He's fucking relentless, okay? I have like 2 Wattpad accounts, and at least 80% of these spam messages are from Bryce. But anyway, it reads, I've read the initial chapters, and he doesn't specify, red flag alert, he doesn't specify which fucking book he read the initial chapters for. Sir, I have like 18 books on my fucking profile. I'm exaggerating. I have like 8. So it's just like red flag number 1. You haven't even looked at my content. You only saw the numbers, and you're sending me a DM trying to cloud up off of my audience. No. So that's red flag number 1. These people are not looking at your freaking books. They're only looking at your numbers. Okay, let's get back into the message. I've read the initial chapters, and I feel that your novel, again, which novel, Bryce? Because you haven't mentioned one. And I feel that your novel showcases your capabilities as a writer. Thus, where's that comma at? Because it looks like that comma is a little late. I would like to invite you to publish on our platform, webnovel. See how they space the word out? Because first of all, you're not supposed to be even doing this on Wattpad or soliciting for commercial purposes or however you word it. I'm tired. It's late at night. But that's against Wattpad guidelines. So first and foremost, you're not even supposed to be here sending me this message. It's unprofessional. What would have been more professional is you had looked in my bio, which would have taken you 1 second to see how you send me business inquiries instead of sending me a random ass DM on Wattpad. Second red flag, okay? Third red flag, you see how they space out the word web novel? They know they're not supposed to be doing this shit on here. Wattpad has probably flagged, because they've been cracking down on these fucking messages. So they probably flagged the word web novel, and anytime somebody types it in the DM, their account probably gets flagged, and Wattpad sees it, reads the messages, and deletes that account for trying to pull us off of the site because it's against their rules. Anyway, so they know what they're doing. You may find our app on App Store or Google Play, which has over tens of millions installations. I'm sure it does. Alright, how many of those are legitimate? I don't know. We would like to offer a non-exclusive contract for your novels currently on the site. This what? Like, let's see how, at first, he read the initial chapters of my novel. Now he wants to offer me a non-exclusive contract for my novels, plural. What? This way, you can keep the novel on the site, but at the same time also help you tap on the large reader base of This is hard to get through. Of our platform with over 60 million unique user views, making it a win-win situation. Please feel free to reach out to me with regards to this. We want to understand your needs first and foremost as an author to help you reach the target market you want to hit. For more information, you can join our Discord server at blah blah blah. Don't join this damn Discord server, okay? They send these messages to hundreds of people daily on Wattpad. That server is probably a freaking shit show and completely unorganized. And we're going to get into that later because somebody actually joined the server and commented their experience on Reddit, and I'm going to show that later. But anyway, just this whole thing just gave me a headache. Like, it literally gave me a headache. So you're trying to poach me off Wattpad because you see that I have the views on my book. You want me to come over to your site, move my audience from Wattpad to your site, which isn't helping me. It's giving you my audience, okay? Because here's another thing when it comes to these shady ass contracts. Okay, they say they're going to do XYZ in these emails that they send you, but if that shit isn't posted in your contract, it ain't going to be done. It's not going to be done. And even if it is posted in their contract, half of the time they don't even do it. And I'm speaking from experience because I got caught up. One time, in a weak moment, I got caught up in one of these shady ass contracts. I'm not going to mention the company. I already talked about it on the podcast. If you listen to my podcast, then you would know who I'm talking about. But I got caught up once, and it was not a pleasant experience. Yeah, they promoted me on the homepage for like a couple weeks, and I got a shit ton of views, and I made like a couple $100. Oh, nothing too crazy. And about like a month later, I was off the homepage, never to be featured again. So sure, they'll tell you they'll promote you for about 14 days, and then it's on to the next person and you're forgotten, and now you have to do the promo yourself. So be careful there, okay? Now we're going to take a look at another message here. Now this next message comes from good old R Novel. It says, "Hello, sorry to bother you. I am Yaloon. My apologies for mispronunciation. An editor of R Novel app. I came across your author page and was hoping to discuss the possibility of displaying your story onto our platform. Again, all of these messages come from Wattpad. Again, I have more than one story posted on Wattpad. Again, he has not looked at my story or stories. He's only seen my number and follower count and said, hey, let's send this chick an email. He doesn't specify what book he's interested in displaying on his platform. Okay, red flag. We're an opening platform for people to read or write fictions online. You can download the app from blah, blah, blah. People who sign a contract with us and post their story on our novel, we will offer a nice pay and a percentage of extra share, whatever the hell that means. And you will have an opportunity. See, it's not guaranteed, but you will have an opportunity that may or may not happen to be an in-app promotion or even Facebook ads campaign. If you're interested, please leave your mail. Not your email, but your mail. Or you can contact via blah 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 with your Wattpad username directly, because again, he doesn't see me as a person, he sees me as a number and a person with thousands of followers that I can maybe bring to his platform. Okay, I will show you more details for review. Looking forward to working with you. Have a nice day. Okay, let's just circle back a little bit. It says, where did it say it at? We're an opening platform. So our novel just launched like maybe like a couple of months ago. They are brand new, literally brand new. Let me check the Apple Store. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Okay, so you can check the details on the Apple Store, Google Play Store, whatever store. You can just look at the app and see when they launch. But they literally just launched like a couple years ago. So first of all, you're telling me you're a newly fledged platform, okay? No audience yet. Yeah, you have the money to offer me a nice pay and percentage of extra share, however much that is, Also, I'll have an opportunity, it's not guaranteed, but I'll have an opportunity to be for my book to be featured in your promotion in Facebook ad scam. This is another thing that really gets on my fucking nerves with these platforms, because they think we're fucking stupid. Okay, you just launched and you're sitting here telling me you're going to give me all this money for my books if I sign a contract with you. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me to move my audience from Wattpad to your app because you're new and you need me. I don't need you. You need me. These people need your books. They don't care about you as a writer. They just want your audience and your views. So when you take that book that you worked so hard on, got 100,000 reads, 1,000 reads, however many reads on Wattpad, okay? When you take that book down off Wattpad and you go put it on one of these scummy apps, that's it. That's it for you. Now you're trapped in a shady ass contract that you can't get out of because they gave you a $500 advance and now you're stuck with them for the next 5 years. And there goes your hardware. Okay, yeah. Moving on to the next message. Now here's another example and more red flags as you'll see when we go over this message. So they say hello, and that's my username. Okay, for the record, they copy and pasted my username instead of just calling me by the first name, which is Amy. Okay, all these companies have a template that they use, and all they do is they plug in our username and they plug in our book title and they send the fucking message. Red flag. Again, they're not looking at you as a person. They're just looking at your views and your reads and trying to scam you. Okay, so it says, hello, Amy and Johnson 93. My name is, I don't want to mispronounce that. I'm contacting you with regards to your work an illicit affair sample. See how they just plugged in my whole fucking book title instead of just using my book title like a normal person? I've read the initial chapters and I feel that your novel showcases your capabilities as a writer. Thus, you see, all this is exactly the same as Bryce from Webnovel. Okay, I would like to invite you to publish on our platform, Webnovel, blah, blah, blah. We are always keeping a lookout for authors with potential because we want to help groom the next great author. As a Webnovel author, you can monetize on Webnovel by signing a royalty contract with us that will net you 50% of the profit, and that's if you make money. Alternatively, we do offer a non-exclusive contract as well. Please feel free to reach out to me with regards to this. We want to understand your blah, 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 blah. For more information, you can join our Discord, blah, 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 blah. Don't join the Discord. Okay, so yeah, this one actually gave us a little bit of info on what you can expect to be paid, which 50% of the profit. I'm not that great at math, but 50% of $100 is 50, and if that's all you're making each month, it's not a good fucking deal. That's not a good fucking deal. Now that we've reviewed and covered some of the messages that these poachers will send you on Wattpad, let's do a deeper dive to explore some more red flags and why you should be cautious when it comes to potentially signing away the rights to your story. Now, the first thing that I'm going to look at is a post on Twitter that was made by Ben Sovic. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but in his tweets, he shares a few screenshots from a contract that's by our novel. I'm not going to cover every inch of this, so if you want to read some bits of the contract for yourself, go ahead. The link is posted in the description box below. But anyway, Ben does and is a lot of things, and since we're primarily talking about Wattpad in this video, Ben also happens to be a Wattpad writer and a Wattpad star. He's also worked directly with Wattpad on a lot of projects, including the book, The Writer's Guide to Wattpad, The Comprehensive Guide to Building and Sustaining a Successful Career. If you haven't yet, you should go check that out if you're looking to grow big on Wattpad but don't know where to start. It's an excellent book. Now, getting back to the tweets. So he's basically breaking things down and showing you how this contract is shit. So let's take a look at it. So there's the contract here. It's 4 different parts where he shares screenshots from. So he says, would I sign this? Not unless I was very familiar with the IP laws of the People's Republic of China. Our novel is registered in Shenzhen. Contract disputes would be settled by the laws of the PRC. When I work with Wattpad directly, I'm dealing with Canadian laws. The difference is that Canada has a much stronger tradition of IP laws. The PRC, not so much. But the biggest red flag isn't even in this contract itself, is that when our novel approached me, it didn't seem to care what content they acquired from me. They didn't seem to know much about me at all. That's super shady. There are also passages like this in the contract that make me want to go to law school just to properly obliterate it. And then he gets a personal quote there from the contract. It's also amusing that our novel will reclaim 30% of the royalty it owes you if you publish the contracted work elsewhere. What counts as quote-unquote publish? That's up to our novel. Easy trapdoor to avoid paying royalties should an excerpt appear somewhere else. I think that's what he meant to say. So basically what that portion is talking about right here. So if you sign a quote-unquote non-exclusive contract with one of these companies, that basically means that you can put the contract on their site and make money on their site, but you can also post the story to other places like Wattpad or any other website. So you can basically have your book up everywhere, but you'll be making money primarily with our novel. If you sign an exclusive contract with our novel, that means that you can't post your book anywhere else but on our novel. And if you happen to post it somewhere else and our novel finds out, all the money that they paid you, they can demand for that shit back while also not paying you for it anymore. And they'll still retain the rights to your story, so you still can't take it down off of their platform because you're under contract. So like he said, it's a very easy trap door to get stuck in, and that is something that you do not want to do, which is why you must always read the fine print. And if you don't understand something, for the love of God, don't fucking sign it. Now, if you haven't learned your lesson yet and you're still like, okay, Amy, all you've done is yell at us and warn us to be cautious, but where's the proof that these companies are shady and can't be trusted? Well, if you don't want to take my word for it and my warning, and you want to sign that contract, that's you. Do you. I can't tell you what to do. All I can say is to be careful. But what I would encourage you to do is additional research, like what I did. And when you type in Google Wattpad web novel or Wattpad R novel, or if you do the same thing for Twitter and type that in the search bar, you will get a lot of results. And most of it is not good. So let's take a look at a few things here. This is on Reddit from people who have personally interacted further with one company in particular, as you can see, web novel. So it says, what is web novel and is it a scam? I just got sent the below on Wattpad. So we also got this message, identical. And let's take a look at some of the comments here. Now, when you see the word Kittian, that's web novel. That's like the, I don't know if it's like the main name, company name, or what, but it's web novel. So the first thing says, Kittian messaged me too, claiming listing my book on their website wouldn't affect my listing on Amazon, even though it absolutely would breach my Kindle Unlimited contract. They're a legitimate company, but from what I've seen, their financial incentives are drops in the bucket compared to going to Amazon, and they're perfectly willing to lie to get you on their platform. So like this person said, if you're unfamiliar with self-publishing or traditionally publishing on Amazon, if you do that, your books have to be exclusive to Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. If Amazon finds out you posted that shit somewhere else, it is not going to be pretty for you. So the fact that web novel was like, yeah, it's okay that you're on Amazon, you can post with us, goes to show that, again, they don't fucking care. And that is a big, big red flag. Comment here says, web novel is not a scam, although they have quite a bad reputation for creators and translators within the novel community. Webnovel is owned by a Chinese company called Kidian. They translate stories, mostly Asian, and bring it to the West. However, they also find original content creators and, as shown in your post, offer them a platform to get their stories out on. And then they list some story titles there. I do recommend you research them thoroughly if you are even thinking of accepting. I'm just a casual reader of theirs, but even I've heard they offer shit rates. So another commenter says, take this and any other advice with a grain of salt, but I personally wouldn't advise it. If your story is generating enough attention to get them to reach out, you likely don't need them. There's been more than a few shady dealings I've heard about, and that they're just not that great for authors. And if you garner more viewers on their platform, they'll try to make it exclusive based on my own experiences with them. If you're planning on going to put your story up on Kindle Unlimited, make 100% sure you can entirely remove the chapters from their site, or else you could run into problems down the road. So if you want to go further down the rabbit hole, because it's a lot of people going back and forth, basically saying, yeah, web novel is legit, but from what I've heard, XYZ. So I will link this in the description box for you to look at if you want. But a very interesting thing that I saw is this post by a person who actually joined the web novel Discord, the one that they send you in the DM. They actually joined that Discord, and here is their experience from after for what happened next. So it says, so during the last few days, I received that poaching message and decided to play it cool and join their Discord server to see what it was like. The entire thing is honestly a mess. Their rules and introduction page is constantly getting updated, as in, hey, don't do this. Instead of pulling the person aside, they are literally flying by the seat of their pants. And instead of having all information in an organized and complete fashion in said introduction guide, it's all in pinned messages. Now, I don't know about all of you, but man, pinned messages don't always stay. Sometimes I'll go to look and nothing is there, as if it had never been pinned at all. If you're familiar with Discord, then you know what she's talking about, because that does happen. A large issue I watched unfold was, while the message to various Wattpad users spoke of the contract, the quote-unquote newbie helpers, which are sub-mods designed to help in the newbies channel, were not allowed to speak about the contract as a whole. The newbie helper sub-mods were completely overwhelmed with the massive influx, I think 200 plus users in nearly 24 hours, of people from Wattpad curious as to why they had been contacted. Again, just a side note, it's a horrible fucking marketing tactic. Why would you open a Discord and then mass spam people DMs on Wattpad, knowing damn well you're not going to be able to control fucking 200, 500 people joining and signing your Discord a day with all the messages they send out? They should have known this was just a terrible idea. But anyway, going back to the thing, to the whatchamacallit. Towards the end of my being in that hell pit of a server, I was unable to get verified as I did not meet the requirements to do so. There was a massive breakdown in communication as fights began to break out between new server members, the newbie helpers, and the quote-unquote top 50 who are writers on the web novel site that have received a significant number of views. Because of this, I was able to learn quite a few things. One, the top 50 writers that are contracted and have signed the royalty contract in which you write a novel exclusively for web novel at a pace of 1,500 word chapter per day, know that web novel has you completely sign away your copyrights. Yes, that's right. Once you sign the royalty contract, all intellectual property of the author then belongs to the company that owns web novel, which is Kidian, and the contract allows them to do as they please with said properties. This includes, but is not limited to, throwing you off your own project in order to have another author with more favor finish it, selling the IP rights to other companies outside of your control. There are others, but I can't be asked to look over the sample contract I received. So basically what she says is, when you sign that royalty contract, which is the exclusive contract that states that you have to publish your book on web novel and you can't put it up anywhere else, once you sign that shit, you are literally signing away the rights to your story and your copyright, which basically means for however long that contract lists, if you sign it for, it says you got to stay up with us for 5 years, Webnovel can do whatever the fuck they want in that 5 years with your story without your permission. Because once you sign that shit for the next 5 years, it becomes their story. So they don't have to ask you to do shit. And personally, making $100 per month is not a good fucking deal when they can literally do whatever they want to the story that you worked hard on for however many years. All it takes is a signature and boom, there goes your fucking story. But anyway, let's go back into the message here. They started sharing their monthly earning amounts since they couldn't wrap their heads around the meaning of scam and thought it only meant that you make people pay to post on the site, which no. Scams can be anything from money to physical labor, but some of the people on there posted screenshots, which unconfirmed, but it was what they gave, that the top 200 writers on Webnovel were able to make $400 a month, while one of the top 50 writers that was contracted showed his actual income page to show $2,000 per month in USD. Now, I'm not sure about all of you, but this rounds up, and this is generous, mind you, to 5,000 up to 25,000 USD per year before taxes, which I don't even think these people actually pay taxes on this money. Mind you, you have to pay taxes on any registered income in the United States. So like she said, while it all sounds good, oh, I'm going to get on here, I'm going to make X amount, I'm going to make $100, I'm going to make $500 per month. Depending on the state that you live in, I think it's only like 3 or 4 states in the United States where you don't you don't have to report what do you call it? Where you don't have to report taxes on your self-employment taxes. That's the word. But for every other state, anything that you make that isn't through a corporate job or like an actual job where you have W-2s, anything that you make outside of that, you have to report that shit to the IRS. And if you don't, it's gonna get real ugly, and in the long run you're gonna have to pay some shit back, or in worst case scenario, go to jail. But anyway, going on, even before taxes, this amount is barely livable. The official line of poverty in the US is $11,000. But even when you live in a household of 2 with a single income of $30,000 per year, personal experience, it's still hard to get by paying rent, all utilities, groceries, and other miscellaneous expenses. On $30,000 a year, you are only $1,000 bill away from not eating that month, depending on your situation. They are not lying, bitch. Like, rent on average is like $800 and up. I was literally calling around for apartments the other day, and it was like a 2-bedroom apartment was like almost $900 fucking dollars. Like, bitch. Even if you do have multiple roommates, it's still a fucking lot for. Okay, continuing. Basically, she's saying that it sounds good in the long run, but it ain't. The breakdown in communication was a horrific sight to behold, and damn did I behold it. The newbie helpers are not equipped for that kind of influx of new members, especially when more than one of the top 50 writers and the newbie helpers themselves were stoking the fires and concerns to what I can only describe as getting butthurt over the fact that Wattpad poached newcomers were questioning whether or not the message they had received from the staff from Webnovel, who are part of what seems to be an editorial team at Webnovel. They started to belittle and throw insults at newcomers for not reading the rules and introduction page, along with all of the pinned messages. This phrase must have been repeated hundreds of times by newbie helpers in response to any questions. Some questions were actually ignored instead of being properly addressed. Overall, the Discord was wholly unprofessional due to the actions of the staff, who flooded the server with 200 to 400 new members, all with the lure of the same thing, a contract. The inaction of actual moderators, I only saw 1 to 3 my entire time there, which subsequently led to the horrific chaos that the hog-tied newbie helpers were thrown into, and therefore fueled with their lack of ability to manage the situation. In addition, the attitudes of the top 50 writers that had decided to interact with the newbie group was less than ideal and far from professional by any means. To wrap up, web novels contract is shit. The staff mass invite anyone they can, regardless of ability or even age. Now that's some sketchy shit there. Hell no. The mods are absent 9 out of 10 of the time, and the newbie helpers are offered up like sacrificial lambs. Also, the few of the top 50 writers that interacted with the newbies did nothing to assuage the situation's absolute chaos. I have multiple screenshots of the dumpster fire that was Webnovel's current Discord server. I have currently left it for my own mental health, but I am more than willing to provide these screenshots after editing them for the safety of the users, such as editing out names, avatars, yada yada yada. Now, you can't tell me this detailed as shit post that homegirl or homeboy, I don't want to assume, you cannot tell me that this is a fucking lie. Ain't nobody this detailed with they damn lies, okay? Like, she was in there, she saw some shit, it was not bad, and this is her experience. I believe them. So if you want to scroll down, you can see some people talking about it and giving their points of view. Again, I will link this post in the description box below if you want to take a look at it. So yeah, when I first got contacted by Webnovel and I saw that they were like, come join our Discord if you have more questions, I was like, they must be, 1, sending this message out to a lot of people on Wattpad, and 2, whose brilliant idea, and I'm saying this sarcastically, whose brilliant idea was it to create a Discord and invite hundreds of thousands of random fucking people, knowing good and damn well they didn't have the staff to what's the word that I'm looking for? To properly monitor that shit. Because like she said, it was a dumpster fire. It sounds like it would be a dumpster fire. I can't imagine trying to get a question in when every day 200 people are joining because they think they're going to get a contract by Webnovel. Again, just terrible marketing. Just all around terrible. Now, the last thing that I want to show you guys is something that I found quite interesting when looking at these apps. So I'm in the Google Play Store, and if you didn't know, you can get there on your desktop. So I'm in the Google Play Store, and I just typed in X novel. That's one of the books here, and it in the app section you get similar recommendations to whatever you're searching. So as you can see, we have something called M novel, high novel, novel, tail read. Radish is legit. I write on Radish. Inkitt is also legit. I write on Inkitt. Then you have web novel, sofa novel, Bravo novel, anystories, novel cat, read me, read it, novel full, good. Okay. The thing that I saw was quite interesting is if you look at some of these, novel, that's by iReader. Right? Okay. And I saw another one that was also by iReader. Here we go. Novelful. That's also by iReader. Let's just click on it. So you click on it, and this is iReader. More by iReader. So they own Storylight, Novel, iReader, Comic Cat, Novelful, Balbo Read. It's like, so if iReader contacts you on Wattpad, they can use any of these names for any of these apps to try to get you onto their platform. So it's like they have why does one company need fucking this many damn reading and writing apps with all these different ass names? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Because it looks like to me, you're just trying to get as many authors as you can to generate as much money as you can. And I don't see how any of this is going to benefit the reader in the long run. So they can literally come to you with like any fucking name and you'll be like, oh wow, I never heard of Storylight before. Yeah, let's go and sign a contract with him. And then your friend might get a message from, oh wow, Lovel, they sound like they are talking pretty good in their contract. I'm going to sign with, and then both of you end up in shitty ass contracts with the same fucking company, iReader, Shady ass. It's just like, what the hell? Who thought of it? It's just so much going on here. I just don't understand why. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, this video is long enough, and I feel like even though we didn't go over any actual contracts, you can, if you really want to, you can Google the shit because people have them posted online. I just personally didn't want to include any in this video because, like I said, the last time somebody did that, the company came after that person and they almost lost their damn YouTube channel. I'm not trying to do all that shit because I don't have the energy and I don't have the money to fight back in that sense. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Just all I can say is be careful, okay? If you get a contract, just don't sign it right away. Read everything, and if you don't understand it, ask somebody about it. Google is your friend. Google is free. Google will give you an answer to whatever question that you have. Go to Google, okay? Go to Twitter. You'll find out a lot of shit on Twitter. If you type in rnovel Wattpad, or if you type in webnovel Wattpad, you will see so many fucking tweets from people talking about them receiving the same message, and it's just like, oh my god. So I'm not the only one that they're trying to fucking scam. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. This video is long enough. If you made it to the end, shout out to you. If you made it to the end, comment your favorite book. Comment your favorite book, and let's all just share our shit. Okay, we gotta be there for one another. Let's all just share. Drop your links. If you made it to the end of this video, drop your links. Let's give each other a read or something. You know, help your fellow writer out. That if you have been personally contacted by one of these companies, and you know, if you want to comment your experience, then I definitely encourage you to do that. Whether you had a good experience or whether you had a bad experience, just comment and let us know how that worked out for you, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are like, is this legit? Is this legit? I get DMs all the time on my main channel. I was contacted by XYZ company, but I don't know if it's legit. Oh my god. And it's just like, honey, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It probably is. Don't sign anything. And another thing that really just like is like, what the fuck are you guys doing? They're sending these contracts out to people who aren't even of legal age to sign a damn contract, which bare minimum is like 18. Like, they really don't care. Like, they really don't care. They're just trying to get as much, they're just trying to steal as much content from these unsuspecting writers as they can. They don't care how old you are. They don't care how many views you have, how many reads you have. They just want your book on their platform, and they want you to sign your rights away, because they're using all those big fucking words in those contracts that they know you don't know, because we're not lawyers. All we see is we'll pay you XYZ monthly, and that's it. And it's just like, it's shady. It's shady. And from my personal experience that I've had with one of these companies that I'm not going to list because I've already talked about them in a previous podcast, if you want to check that out, link in the description. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. So yeah, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And Don't let these people steal your clout. Don't let them clout up off of you. Don't let them steal your views. Don't let them steal your audience. If you really want to make money, start a damn Patreon. So that way, you keep all the funds. In the end, you keep everything. You're not cutting 50% of nothing with anybody. Start a Patreon. So there are ways that you can make money from writing. It is possible. I am saying that from experience. And you don't have to depend on any of these sites because you don't need them. They need you. Long story short. And that's where I'm going to end this video. If you found it helpful in the least bit, I hope you did. If not, I apologize. But I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Well, not on this channel because it's my gaming channel, but go subscribe to my main channel if you want more tips and tricks when it comes to writing, and specifically writing on Wattpad. And I will catch you guys later.